Hello everybody, welcome to A Little Bit of Everything. Hope you're having a blessed day. So hey, I just thought I would take a minute here. I want to reach out and say thank you to my new subscribers that have joined over the last month. I hit 200 subscribers this week and I'm very, very appreciative of you guys taking the time to hit that subscribe button and spending a bit of your very valuable time here with me. Thank you. And to celebrate the 200 subscriber milestone, I'm going to be giving away a prize, but I will announce how you can win that in the next video that we do, so stay tuned for that. So, you clicked on the link, and the link just plainly stated there's a new chapter. Before I go into the details, I really do want to apologize for not getting a video out last week. I do my best to get a video out every 2 weeks, and believe it or not, it's not that easy for me to do, working full-time and managing life, but I consider it an honor to be able to sit in your space with you. So I do try to stay on schedule. Hopefully when you hear what's going on with me and my family, you'll understand why I've been a little bit busy here lately. So let's jump into it. A little over 2 years ago, I sat right here in this chair, in this room, in this house, and I introduced myself to the YouTube community because I wanted to refurbish a big green egg and I thought it would be cool to take you along with me. That was a very successful set of videos, as they're the most viewed videos I have on my channel of anything that I've done so far. But I'm one of those people that hates hiring anyone else to do something that I want done. Anything from working on my car to building a deck to something simple like wiring an electrical outlet, I've always done it myself. I didn't always know how to do it, but I learned it, and that was the concept of this channel when I started. All these things that I do around the house, around the property, I thought maybe somebody out there could use that information and might just appreciate someone walking them through the process. That's how this started. And even though it's a really small channel with a small audience, I value each and every set of eyes that stop and take the time to spend a moment with me here. So, that's how it started over 2 years ago. I've done several things and I've shared those with you, and during that time, because I am a man of faith, I heard the calling to also share the Word of God with you in my videos as well. So about halfway through the videos that I created, I started sharing on this channel a little bit of everything. A channel called Faith Changes Everything. I put a message at the end of my LB video that I feel called to share from God. I've had a lot of responses, and all positive so far. To me, I've had so many subscribers that have reached out to me, and I've had a lot of very loyal subscribers who've been along and from the very beginning and have encouraged that faith portion of my video. And as a result, there have also been those here who have found something in those messages that encouraged them as well. I am so very thankful for that. That's the sole purpose for me doing those messages, to encourage and put hope in the hearts and minds of those watching, and to tell you there's a Savior who wants a personal relationship with you. I said all of that to get you to the point of this video, which is this. Things are changing rapidly here for my wife and I wanted to take the time to explain what's going on and why my videos might be a little off schedule for a while. If you've watched my videos in the past, you know that my wife and I rent this property. It's a nice place. It's a big yard, nice big kitchen, but it has its issues, and more importantly, it's not ours. You see, we both have wanted to buy a house, but my job has been the issue for several years now, moving us constantly, and we've just not felt comfortable buying. In the last 14 years, my wife and I have moved 7 times because of my job, and it's just never made sense to make that kind of commitment when we knew that we were probably more than likely going to have to move again. But something occurred recently, and it changed that for us. Before I go into that detail, let me tell you about a couple more life-changing events, all of which that have taken place in the last 2 months. My last video that I put out, it was on a shelf that I built because at the end of March, my daughter got married. Great, it was wonderful. She wanted me to build her what she called a cupcake ladder. And if you've not seen that video, I encourage you to go watch it. It took me a month to build it, and my wife and I spent 6 days, traveled 2,200 miles, spent over 30 hours in a car to go to to and from to transport many of the items for that wedding. It was a culmination of a month of what felt like whirlwind activity, but it was also a beautiful wedding. I want to show you some of the pictures here. So this is my daughter. She looked unbelievably beautiful that day. And right here, this is my son-in-law. We're both so proud and excited that he's part of the family now. Such a good guy. And here are a couple more shots from that day. It was a beautiful wedding set in an awesome Arkansas backdrop, and we had an amazing time. Then, once we got home, that's when it felt like everything started to come apart. A week after getting back, my landlord announces he's raising the rent on us. I won't go into the bitter details of this, and it was not a good time in our house. The vibe was bad. Suffice it to say, at the end of it, we decided that our time here was done. At the moment that I told our landlord we would leave by June 18th, my wife and I literally had no idea where we were going to go or what we were going to do. And we had 2 months basically to figure out where to go, pack this house up, and try to get out of this place. Talk about stepping out on faith. If you have ever tried to pack your house up, a house you've lived in for a while, and we've been here 5 years, you know how daunting of a prospect that is. That fact was not lost on me at that moment. It was the 10th of April of this year. But what I haven't told you is this. My other daughter was being induced and going to deliver our first grandbaby 3 days later. I had planned on doing some videos on this, but things just went south a little bit. That first grandbaby was going to be born, and in the midst of our concern about where we were going to live, we had this brand new baby being born in a couple days. We're so excited for this. We planned on being there for that event, but God, as he seems to quite often do, had other plans for us. The day before we were set to go, I started coughing, and the coughing got worse. And over the next 24 hours, I decided, on the safe side, I wanted to go to a walk-in clinic just to make sure there weren't any issues. Well, to my dismay, there were issues. I had the new strain of COVID, which meant I wasn't going to go see the birth of my first grandchild. And because my wife had been exposed, neither could she. You cannot imagine the disappointment, as there's only one chance to see the birth of your first grandchild, and I was going to miss it. Not only that, being down with a stupid illness meant I wasn't going to be able to do anything around this house, which means I lost several days of packing and getting things done, and I didn't have many days to lose. So while this was going on, my wife and I were trying to decide what to do. Do we find a place to rent? Do we find a place to buy? I mean, earlier in the year, we decided that we needed to stay in this house one more year to be completely sure that we're going to be in a good position to buy a house, that my job would be stable, and that we would be able to go into the home buying process without the stress of knowing if we could do it or not. Have you ever heard the saying, if you wait until you can afford kids, you'll never have them? Well, my wife and I firmly believe that saying, for us anyway, can be extended to our decision process on buying a house. We've prayed and prayed about this. We both agreed later that this situation where our landlord basically said he wants us out, this was God pushing us out of the nest, so to speak, because he was tired of us praying for a house instead of just starting the process and trusting him to make it happen. So, still sick with COVID and barely able to talk, I contacted a lending agent, and to my unbelievable surprise, 24 hours later, we were approved. We had the approval letter. We had a real estate agent. If you truly give it to him and get the heck out of the way, the saying that God works in mysterious ways is not true at all. What we should say is, God works in faithful ways. Now, a quick side note here. I'm not sponsored by Rocket Mortgage, but I do want to put a plug in here. I'm not going to publicly list her name, but if you need or want an agent, contact me. I'll give you the name of someone who, in my experience, will move heaven and earth for you in the home buying process. This woman's been amazing, constantly in contact, constantly walking you through the next steps. She's been amazing. So if you're looking to buy a house, hit me up. I'll send you her contact information. So back to the story. As I'm trying to get over COVID, we started looking at houses. And again, I won't go through everything we did, but over a 3-week period, we must have looked at over 100 houses, both online and in person. It was so exciting and frustrating because for whatever reason, where we currently live, the housing market is on fire. As soon as a listing hits the market, you better jump on it because it's not going to last. The price range we were looking to buy in was apparently the same price range everyone else was looking to buy in. My realtor said it was hotter now than it was during COVID when interest rates were lower, but he thought that was because people thought rates would go up again, so everyone was jumping in the buying pool at the same time. So after a period where we would find something one day and it would be under contract the next, we finally thought we had found one and we jumped on it and we made an offer. Again, as does happen, one thing led to another and we didn't get the house, and so the search continued for another couple weeks. We actually put an offer on another house, which again wasn't accepted. So as they say, the third time is a charm, but we didn't know that then. Because we missed the birth of our grandchild when I was completely over COVID, my wife and I decided to go see her, and the night before we were going to go, I found a listing that I thought was very interesting. It was very compelling, and I contacted my agent. We made an appointment to go look at the place. Just so happens that was the morning that we were headed out to meet Lucy, our new granddaughter. We got there, we looked at it, and we just loved the place. It checked all of our boxes, but we had learned to temper our expectations. But we did tell the realtor to go ahead and make an offer. So we left, and he did. This house had just been listed, so our realtor contacts us back and says that they're having an open house that coming weekend, and they're going to wait to accept any offers after that open house, which happens to be the day that we're driving back after the baby visit. We had a wonderful time meeting Lucy. Here are just a few of the pictures of that time together with her. So this time with our daughter, it wasn't without stress because she was dealing with some post-birth preeclampsia issues, which apparently is very rare. And she was in the hospital the entire time we were there, but it was still a life-changing moment for my wife and I. I will save you all the details of that visit, but I want to set the stage for the next part of the story. So after the visit, my wife and I were on the way home. It was quiet in the car. You know, from March 1st to late April, life had been a true up and down roller coaster, and it wasn't little stuff either. Between all that went on with the wedding, where we were going to live, our house buying process, COVID, this new grandbaby. At this point, right at that moment in the car, I think my wife and I were both a little overcome, and we were both certainly exhausted, and we just were not 100% sure of what was going to happen next. Then, as fate would have it, about 4 hours into our 5-hour drive home, my realtor called us. When we answered the phone, he was laughing, and the next 4 words he said closed the old chapter on our life as it existed, and it opened the page to a new chapter. He said, "We got a house." It was a pretty joyful moment for sure. The rest of the trip flew by as we talked about all of the next steps, everything we had to do to make sure that our ducks were in a row. We had to pass some hurdles through this process. Anyone who's bought a house knows that there's the underwriter and there's the inspection and then there's the appraisal. All of these things can put obstacles in the way. But at that point, in the car with my wife, we celebrated the victories that have been very long fought for many years of prayers, of hopes. And in one very amazing weekend, we met our first grandbaby and we bought a house. So that brings me full circle to the beginning of this video when I talked about my absence, why I've been off schedule with my videos, and what you can expect of me going forward. Well, I hope this very long-winded explanation gives you some idea of what my wife and I have been facing for the last 2 months. Having said all that, I am excited for what is to come and the content I'm going to be able to share with you for quite a while going forward. First of all, I am going to be filming the moving process as much as I can anyway, because I want to share that with you at some point later in the year, all of the steps involved. What it also means is my videos might be a little sparse as we go forward into this. I've already been boxing up the house a little each day. We rented a storage shed to house some of our stuff so that when it's time to move, we have it all in one place, and I can rent a truck and move it all at once. We do have movers scheduled to come in and move all the heavy stuff, but I would say the lion's share of it, my wife and I are going to be doing. So we sure could use your prayers. I promise to walk you through the entire move process at some point in my video fashion, but hopefully you're going to like that. So with that, I'm going to let you get back to your day. I really just wanted to share with all of you what's been going on behind the scenes, and also let you know that I will still be doing my videos. And I think this move will give me a chance at a lot of content to share with you. Not to mention, after we move in, I'm going to be doing a video of the new place, walk you through our house, share with you the plans we already have with it. Right off the top of my head, I can think of an installation of a mini split HVAC system, building a desk for my at-home workspace, finishing a laundry area, and without completely giving it away, the building of an outdoor kitchen and covered patio, along with how to maintain an in-ground swimming pool. And ultimately, a little ways down the road, I'm going to build a workshop and a coach garage. As you can see, we've got lots of plans. Thank you. Thank you so much for turning into this video today. I won't be doing a message behind this video. I just wanted to touch base with all of you. I wanted to say thank you to all of my subscribers, and I want to say thank you for those who got me over the 200 hump. And I just want to let you know that I will be getting back on schedule, but until that happens, I hope you're going to be patient with me and stay with me, as I promise this new chapter will open up opportunity for a lot more content in the very near future. I hope you have a blessed day, and don't forget, God loves you so very much, and so do I. Thank you for being here, and I will talk to you again soon.